Folks, welcome back to the show where it's not wrestling with your budget. It's not wrestling with your conscience. It is wrestling with emotion. And you don't have to call David Arquette. You don't have to call Michael Buffer. But we have got a group that is ready to rumble. So let's get them on in here. We have got Slick on a Saturday. That is worth the price of admission alone. We've got Micah in Chi-Town holding it down, letting us know what's right, what's wrong. We've got Rob Ryan trying to not let his biases get the best of him as he makes his long-awaited return to Wrestling with Emotion. We have got Dwayne Mania. You know we need to keep an eye on him because it is always a slippery slope when Dwayne 16 hits the ring. And we've got the voice of reason. We've got the voice of I mean, just thoughts. Ernie Green holding it down on the West Coast. Gents, happy Royal Rumble Saturday.
Best day of the year.
Yeah, excited, man. Excited to see, like we mentioned pre-show, there's 19 slots filled. We don't know who the other 11 are going to. And we've been promised surprises after there was some complaints about them announcing Cody will make his return today. So when they said, well, don't worry because we have a lot more bigger surprises planned. I mean, who? I don't know.
Mania starts here, boys. Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just great to be back. How could I miss the biggest road to WrestleMania we've ever had? It is in Hollywood. There's just no way something doesn't happen big tonight. And how could I not be here for it?
You can hear the excitement.
Rob Ryan is like Brock Lesnar deals right now. We only get him for the big shows. We get him
I would think so, but then all of a sudden we get Brock Lesnar yesterday at 8:30 p.m. just squashing a random match. I was absolutely shocked. I was bewildered. Cowboy Brock out of nowhere.
Yep.
How, dude?
Hi, Rob.
Hey, how are you doing?
Pretty good,
all right,
bud.
and speaking of making our acquaintances, let's make our acquaintance back with the audience. Of course, on Wrestling with Emotion, we always tee it off with the same question. This time, it's a little bit bigger in the scope, though. Typically, we talk wrestling storyline. It does say favorite wrestling storyline, but I'll kick it off. Right now, there has been an amazing, storyline going on in the background of WWE. You have smooth sailing. You have great character progression. You have story progression. You have a lot of fans liking the product more with Triple H at the head of creative. All of a sudden, at the beginning of January, Vince McMahon comes back. Things get reshuffled. Stephanie steps away. So that's been kind of crazy to see. So far, so good, I think, for the wrestling fan that has enjoyed the Triple H era. It seems like things are staying in place for the most part. Obviously, the Royal Rumble will be a big part of that. I know I crossed off the bloodline, but everyone can touch on it. Let's go on everyone's favorite wrestling storyline right now. Anyone feel free to kick it
off. I think there's so many dynamics to the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens bloodline thing. Like, it's so hard to predict which direction it's going to go in. Will there be a turn? Will Sami be the one to turn? Like, the way they've built this story from the tribal court, everything before, everything after. Like, there's so many different directions this whole thing can go that it's very difficult to predict because in past storylines under different regimes, it's so easy to predict the outcome of certain storylines. This one is so open-ended, it can go literally in any direction.
That's a good point.
I mean,
go ahead,
I'm
Rob.
just going to hop in there because me and Dwayne never agree a lot, but I have to agree with him with that one. There's other ones, but there has not been a storyline in WWE that has been this unpredictable and which can go any which way. For 3 years, we're like, who is going to beat Roman? What is going to happen? And we're finally at that point where there's multiple ways where this storyline can go. And it could even go with someone we haven't even seen yet, and which obviously we'll get that talking later. But I mean, how can the bloodline not be your favorite and the best storyline in wrestling in a long time? And no one really saw it coming with how good this could get. We thought it would just get stale.
Speaking of no one seeing it coming, did anyone know that Zayn was doing Helwani yesterday? All of a sudden, I'm seeing clips on the timeline.
No, there was a lot of good. I watched it last night. There was a lot of good bits from Sammy just talking about one thing that was really interesting, talking about the politics, the difference between the top of the card and like the top of the card, and just not knowing like where he's at. But I think one of the dynamics with Sammy is just like anytime he gets into those interviews, like he is just one of the most open, honest guys like you'll ever, like most genuine people. Like Sami Zayn, like off camera, is just, I feel like who he is all the time. Like, and he's just comfortable with Ariel and that. So Sammy's been amazing. We're gonna talk a lot about the bloodline. I think my favorite thing going right now is just Bryan Danielson putting on 5-star matches every week or 4.5-star matches every week on Dynamite, and just going into, I mean, it's a great use. People are getting to watch the show. People are getting to see Danielson like really be highlighted. I feel like he's like been used to put over everybody else. I really want him to beat MJF. Like, I'm at that point. I know it's probably not going to happen, but if there's ever going to be a time for him to be AW champion, it's now. So it's going to be fun. Next week, Thatcher and him are going to, I mean, it's going to be painful to watch, honestly. I'm a little scared.
Yeah, I got to touch, obviously, on the Bloodline segment. Gwen made some great points, but that Tribal Court segment was one of the best that I've seen in a long time, whether it be Raw or anything WWE. And you don't really see in modern day WWE these segments that aren't wrestling, where they let the guys just go for like half an hour, let alone to open a show. And they did that here, and it was absolutely perfect in every way. I loved everything about it. But if you want me to pick a story other than that, because that's the very obvious choice, coming off Rampage last night, Jake made a great point too with Daniels every week. But I got to go with Swerve Strickland making himself one of the most savage motherfuckers in all of wrestling. You know, Dustin Rhodes is back on camera for the first time in a long time. He's thanking Tony Khan and the fans for giving him this opportunity to just talk on TV and say thank you for the support this past month while I've been grieving about my mother that just passed. And in comes Swerve Strickland like, oh, who gives a fuck? These old heads just want attention on the TV. He's just making himself one of the most devious sons of bitches ever in the company. And that's hard to do with a guy like MJF running the show and with a belt on his waist, nonetheless. So Chris Jericho, the GOAT, even said it himself recently, when Swerve Strickland is on TV, ratings go up. So I'm loving everything he does, especially with those two freaking units he's got behind him in the
behemoths,
the moguls. So excited to see where that goes in the future.
First off, Dwayne, I kind of hope you're going to talk longer because I was eyeing all your stuff. You have a bunch of sweet shit behind you. Second off, I mean, I don't think that you'll find anybody where the bloodline isn't their favorite storyline right now. So my second favorite storyline right now is Bray Wyatt / Uncle Howdy / LA Knight. The storyline, but I'll say this, LA Knight might be the most improved wrestler in the past 5-6 months. Like, he's been given this opportunity. He's been taking
the ball and run with it.
And he's ran for a touchdown with this. He didn't kick a field goal on 3rd and 2 like a coward in Buffalo would. He's ran for a touchdown. And what he has done this year and in this feud, I mean, this is supposed to be Bray and Uncle Howdy and Bray and all his demons, but LA Knight has interjected himself in, and he's been absolutely fantastic. I think he's the most improved wrestler in the last 6 months. Of course, not being a male model and being taken seriously helps a little bit, but still, I think LA Knight's has been absolutely fantastic through this whole. Even last night, coming out just like old school Bray Wyatt, hilarious.
That was awesome.
That was fantastic. It was like when Owens came out with the bald skull cap. Is Austin and the glass shattered. Like that was super good. And you know what? Like, he's always been really good on a microphone, but I mean, it's fun. He like how when this all started, we were all kind of like tilting our head, like, why LA Knight? But every single week, it's periodically got better and better and better and better. And now it's a match that I really want to see.
Yeah, I agree. They've gotten it over. I got to be honest. LA Knight last night in the Bray Wyatt was great, but I completely forgotten about skull cap like Kevin Owens. That was amazing. I got to go watch it. And obviously, it goes towards those things like him earning a Universal Championship shot eventually here at the Royal Rumble. But obviously, again, a lot great going on in wrestling right now. With that said, let's do a quick sweep into AEW. Obviously, interesting start of the year. Obviously, I think it was a lot of people would agree down year for AEW in 2022 versus 2020 and 2021, where it felt like they made ground on WWE, felt like maybe they were making some noise. That's just my perspective. Anybody else with any thoughts so far on what AEW needs to do here in 23, or do you like what they're doing? Anyone jump in?
You guys know that I am the biggest AEW fan in the world. I'm just not moved really by I'm not moved by anything right now. They got to pick it up before Revolution. It's not anything hot take. I'm not going to come like scathing in on them, but there's like the Danielson matches are great every week. I kind of really just want him to beat MJF because I don't want to just see MJF yelling at the camera every week and telling Danielson he can't wrestle when he obviously is going to be able to. I just feel like they're setting it up for Danielson to take that. I want to get to that, and I think that opens up MJF to go do some more stuff. And there's just a lot of weird pairings going on. Right, I don't know. I'm interested to see what the vision is going forward. It doesn't help that the Kenny Omega had visa issues the last 2 weeks, and we haven't get to see what the Elite was going to get to do, because that was probably going to be, a major part of whatever's going to happen. I think Hangman's obviously going to be involved there, probably Cole and everything. Like, we haven't seen any of that action. Feels like that's a big chunk missing.
I put this in the chat. Are we worried that they're kind of WWEing the Adam Cole situation with the Elite?
Because
I think it's been mentioned.
I think it's because Omega couldn't be at TV, and if they're going to do all something together, they're not going to do it without Kenny Omega.
But Adam Cole can't even mention what he did. I mean, I know part of the reason that Slick became All Elite was because of the different things that they were doing. The ways that they were contrasting WWE. Slick, are you worried about this at all?
A little bit. Like Jake said, I'm not too moved by anything at the moment. It's great having Danielson on TV every week and putting on 5-star matches, but we've seen this gauntlet thing with MJF before. So the fact that is a fact kind of turns me off of it. Like, we know Danielson's going to win. It helps that he's a fantastic wrestler and he has fantastic matchups every week. But we know where it ultimately is going to go, to that Iron Man match, or else it wouldn't have even been mentioned. I think they're off to a great start in 2023 to try and get the momentum back in their favor. And that really helps having the Elite back as a group. But like you said, are we just going to bring the Elite back as a group and not even like tie in Adam Cole or Hanger? I think Hanger definitely, because he's mentioned this stuff, but Adam Cole back, and now he's not mentioning anything except staring at the Revolution sign. Yeah. There's nothing really that, like...
It feels like we need, like, 3, like, earth-shattering, like, things to happen in AEW television the next couple weeks. Like,
AEW needs some tectonic shifts.
Yes.
Right now, I don't feel like MJF has any chance of dropping the title, even to Danielson. I don't really care about any of the titles except the tag team titles with the Acclaimed, and the only reason that is because of the Acclaimed.
Because of the Acclaimed, yeah.
And there's just not much else going on. So I mean, AEW is
and Jamie Hayter has been incredible. Don't get me wrong, but
money.
Jamie Hayter is but that's been a weird storyline that they have going on.
They haven't pushed her, right?
Yeah. No, and that whole thing with the women's division ever since everyone was like so. Maniac's gonna give me shit for this, but the whole crowd was convinced that Mercedes was showing up. Not just me; they were all booing after that. But like, so that's where
she's showing up tonight. That's why.
So that's just hear me out. That's where they thought it was going, right? They thought they knew where the storyline was going, but now it's this big gray cloud. You have Saraya and Tony turning heel, and like.
Yeah, people liked Tony, and then she's like all of a sudden fighting everybody. Yeah.
What direction are we going in? Like, it's a big if, and like you
but
said,
that's the thing. If they have to wait, if they're waiting for Mercedes. If it's a thing where because I really think that New Japan's not letting her wrestle. Like anything, we're not going to see her anything until that New Japan match, wherever she goes next, whether it's AAA next, whether it's Stardom next, whatever the fuck it is. I think New Japan's like. February 18th will be the first time you wrestle if we're paying you this much money.
I agree. And
it's just jumbled up.
Just before
Do we?
I'll give CM Punk credit. When he returned, when he had his thing going on, the messaging was perfect. He leaked it. Everyone knew, and it was clear he was going to be back. Mercedes is saying she's going to be wrestling all over and stuff like this, and now she's nowhere to be seen a month in.
I mean,
Right.
One thing too with AEW is there a chance that like it's oversaturated with talent because there is so much talent there that
They need another hour. They need another hour.
Yeah. I always felt like that. Like, you know, when Tony Khan was just signing everybody and anybody that was available, you know, ex-WWE guys, independent guys, like you only have so much TV time to go around. You know, and sometimes you're trying to spread the wealth essentially and let these wrestlers, you know, kind of be themselves on TV and have their own say and creative and whatnot. But like sometimes little is better. Not a little is better, but like
less is more.
Yeah, exactly. Less is more. And I've always felt, at least like the past couple months, especially since like the whole debacle with CM Punk, you know, the Bucks, Kenny Omega, like I'm not saying shit has gone downhill from there. You know, the product is still good, but I think less would be more, you know.
Well, they had a huge advantage. Just to point out, they had a huge advantage when CM Punk would come out at 8:36 on a Dynamite. Like that's typically a lesser spot on a wrestling show. You know, it's like the bottom of the hour. They were dealing with like an ace up their sleeve, basically. They were putting someone on that everybody wanted to see at a time that typically wasn't, and it made the rest of the card so much better. It's just like having a Von Miller in your lineup. You're gonna make your Russos, your Epinesas look better.
That's why Danielson's wrestling every week, because the ratings have gone up every week since he's done it. They popped 1 million this week for the first time in how long? And it's been 3 weeks of this Danielson thing. Like they do have aces that I agree with you, Dwayne. But when they have to do those things, it makes it tough for other people that like Miro has not been on television. I am so like
where
my
is
biggest gripe.
Miro
Where
Day?
the fuck
Where
is
is Miro Day?
Bro? Miro Day, like he needs to be on TV wrestling for a world title, not sitting at home doing nothing. So there are a lot of guys like that.
They finally got Hobbs on TV last night, but like the Book of Hobbs, he's just.
I hate the Book of Hobbs, bro. I'm sorry, I can't do the Book of Hobbs.
Yeah, what?
Do
you think
right.
Tony Khan went out firing too quickly, and now he's trying to like?
No, but why wouldn't you sign everybody that you can sign everybody, and then they're doing independent dates and everything. They're getting a paycheck. Like if I'm Tony, it creates a problem, but it's also like if you don't have enough talent,
it's a good problem.
They have good problems. That's what I would say.
It's just, you know, and I said it back when it happened. I think Tony. There has to be a line. You know, Tony is a very lovable guy, right? Everybody loves him. The wrestlers love him. There has to be a line that you draw between, you know, being a friend and being a boss. And
at the end of the day, he's a mark with a lot of money.
Exactly. And I think that he needs to start drawing that line. And you can give all these guys the freedom they want and creative and their own line. But at some point, you yourself have to, you know, kind of draw a line in the sand and be like, no, this is the direction we're going. You know, you can have your input here and still not be what WWE has been for the past decade and a half. I just, you know, that's just my opinion on the matter. Is I think you have so many like wrestlers who want input and want TV time. They have all these ideas, but at the end of the day, like it's almost like an oversaturation.
I think a 2-hour live Rampage would start to help.
I agree.
I'm not gonna lie though, I completely missed when Matt Hardy became like Ethan Page's cuck though. I don't know when that happened.
It's great though. It's a lot of BTE, a lot of BTE action.
A lot of BTE. Well, speaking of, you know, voice of reason, Ernie, you got 30 seconds for us on AEW before we get into the Rumble talk?
They kind of remind me right now of how the Bills use Josh Allen. I don't think they have a plan. They just go out there, Josh Allen game, and that's kind of like what AEW is. AEW right now is just like, hey, Bryan Danielson, go out and have a great match. And Brian asked, who I'm not a giant fan of, who runs the Jim Cornette podcast, he said something I actually agree with. He goes, I know more about Ezekiel and Elias than I do the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. They don't really do enough to really make you invest in storylines. The matches are always great. Every Dynamite and most Rampages, every match is going to be a banger, but that's just not enough. You know what I'm saying? So they need to really invest and dig deep in these storylines. Like the Elite Civil War was going to be a great storyline. I hope they somehow get back to that, but I see why they haven't yet, because everyone's injured and everyone can't get in the country, so they're going to make sure everyone's there and healthy before they restart that, I think.
And that's a good critique because the elite specifically rely a lot on their lore and for people to just know what's going on. And that's not how you pick up people that are just tuning in casually. Like, they're not all going to know your elite inside jokes. Like, obviously most hardcore AEW fans are, but that's something that with a lot of those guys too, I think that happens a lot now that they start leaning back on their old AEW stuff. And it's like, we got to keep it moving forward as much as we like. You don't want to forget that. You don't want to be old Vince where he literally just ignored something that happened a week ago. But you also need to like keep it fresh too.
Agreed.
Very well said. Very well said. And speaking of well said, we are on Wrestling with Emotion. It is time to get into it. Royal Rumble 2023. It is the beginning of the road to WrestleMania, perhaps the greatest time for any wrestling fan. Other wrestling companies are competing with them. They know the ratings. They know the build-up. We're in that post-football season where fans are looking for something to watch on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday nights, and they are looking for wrestling. So let's get into it, gents. First question, I want to start with Slick. Or actually, I'll just open this up to anybody. October 4th, 2019. SmackDown debuts on the Fox network. The Rock, last appearance on WWE TV, October 4th, 2019, 1,212 days ago. Is there any chance that The Rock is not at the Royal Rumble tonight?
0. I mean, how long? I think he's there. I mean, how long has this been rumored? When other past W rumors, it's come true every single time. There's just been this rumor ever since WrestleMania Hollywood was supposed to be last year, and they moved it back a year. I mean, no way The Rock is not in attendance. If not tonight, he's there Monday at Raw, because I mean, they got to eventually do this Roman versus Rock, and what better time where Rock has made his name after post WWE in Hollywood.
I want to comment on the reports that The Rock isn't in shape for a Mania match. You should see this tweet that he put out last night.
Guys, ring shape, wrestling shape is much different than just being
different.
beefy as fuck.
My biggest thing on all this, though, is you have these reputable wrestling sources like Juan or whatever, and they're reporting this. I mean, how could they honestly report this if they didn't believe it? I mean, all their legitimacy is going to be put to shame, right, Ernie? Like, they're like, who? I mean, when The Rock inevitably comes back tonight, which has to be minus 5,000 just for him to at least make an appearance, like.
For what it's worth,
right?
Sean Ross Sapp's Fightful Report still has WWE people believing The Rock's going to be back, even though no one's said that.
And here, here's the thing, even if he how long until WrestleMania? How many months? Like two months? What is it?
April.
Two and a half.
2.5 months. If that guy, when it comes to being committed to something, you think of guys like The Rock. In 2.5 months, can he get himself in shape? And again, there is a difference. Like Micah said, there is a difference between being in shape, like he clearly is, or being able to take bumps. Being able to hit spots during matches. That does take a different type of training all on its own. I was just rewatching the Last Dance with Jordan, and it was the one episode about when he made the transition from basketball to baseball and back to basketball, and that first season how much he struggled, because as great of shape as he was in, it's a different type of training between baseball and basketball. It's the same thing. Just because the guy can deadlift 1,000 pounds doesn't mean he's ready to take bumps, ready to hit spots during matches. It is going to take time. But if there is a guy that can do that and get ready in 2.5 months, I do believe it's The Rock, because we saw Austin do it with Kevin Owens. Austin took a backdrop on cement floor. Come on. I genuinely think there is a guy who can take. So I do think he'll be there tonight. I think this is all smoke to get people to just not, because they saw the reaction to the Cody thing, them announcing he'll be back at Rumble. Maybe they're kind of backpedaling, okay, well, we want people not believing this. So when his music does hit, whenever it does, the place loses its fucking mind.
And that's another thing. It's about, why would they release Cody's saying he's going to be back when that could have been the biggest thing out there. Something
Because
big is
we all
happening.
knew Cody was going to be back.
We all
Let's
knew
be
he was
honest.
coming, but
Like,
Cody
it
was too obvious.
Oh,
He was-
yeah,
his
sure.
timing was lined up perfectly. Like it was
And
just,
they're
you know,
still
he's
gonna
not coming
build
back
the
to the
hype.
Rumble. When is he coming back for Mania?
You want to
2
know
years
why
in
they
a row?
announced him? You want to know why they announced him ahead of time? Because the merch store sold out of Cody merch, and they had to bring more in already.
They-
Like,
and
that's why they announced it. Ahead
They're
of time.
still gonna pop when he comes out.
Does anybody see these Rock rumors and think maybe James Gunn has a point here? Black Adam clearly isn't shit.
That's what I mean. He needs wrestling now.
I guess.
He's gotta
it's
come
very
back.
Yeah, I guess, you know, we were saying he might not go because it's a weak point. He might go because he needs that strength.
He needs
He
it.
has
Yeah.
strength.
Well, I mean,
real quick.
let's be a little realistic here. The Rock can sit home the rest of his days and count his money if you want.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think he needs anything.
No, I'm
No,
yeah,
he needs
yeah,
it
that's
all.
100%.
He needs
yeah.
it all. No,
And honestly, like, what's the
$7
expectation?
Productions.
What's the expectation for him if he does show up tonight? Like, he doesn't have to be in 100% ring shape to just
No.
slide into the ring,
If he
just
shows
crouch
up,
down and hit somebody with a rock bottom.
He-
Like, that
he's
doesn't,
not-
he doesn't
he's
need to be
not
ring shape for
clocking
that.
he's not clocking in any earlier than what, 27, and he's probably clocking in 30 if any
That's-
time.
Yes.
If
And-
he
and
if he
he's
joins-
more-
if
if he
he
flies
goes in the
I'm
Rumble,
just saying during
I
the
don't-
Kevin
I don't
Owens
think
he
match.
he may interrupt Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns.
I don't
at the
think he's
end.
coming. I don't think he's going to be in the Rumble either.
No, I don't think he'll be.
He's
in the
No.
not going to interrupt Reigns.
No,
Owens.
I have a theory. I have a theory how it's going to go down.
I also
Oh
have a
my
theory.
gosh,
yeah.
I also have a
Austin
theory.
I'll
Theory,
explain when we get to
Austin
that
Theory
match.
has a better chance of interrupting that match.
I'll explain it when we get to that.
I don't
Okay,
think
but
he's
real
gonna
quick, speaking
at
of
all.
interruptions, guys, Royal Rumble. Let's start with Ernie because I think he's probably got the best and can put it most concisely. Favorite memories, favorite, things that maybe tonight can live up to. There's a lot of hype around this men's Rumble match.
Man, you give me way too credit. If I'm the voice of reason, we're fucked. That's all I'm going to say.
We are
right-
fucked,
right-
Ernie.
right now,
That's
one of
it.
my favorite, one of my
We've
favorite
been
Royal
fucked.
Rumble memories ever of not the match was when Owen Hart, to quote himself, he kicked his brother Brett's leg out of his leg. One of the funniest promos I ever heard in my entire life. That's why I kicked your leg out of your leg.
That sounds like I am the table.
Yeah, exactly. I think one of the best memories of one of my favorite memories was one of the first pay-per-views, 1989. 88 was on USA. 89 was the pay-per-view, and the first two combatants were Axe and Smash and Demolition. And they
that's
kind of hinted at it, moving up, like, we got to fight each other, we'll fight each other. And sure enough, they were 1 and 2, and they just beat the hell out of each other for 2 minutes until Andre came out. That's probably one of my favorite memories ever, the first ever. And then the Hogan Warrior confrontation in 1990, which was unheard of. You never saw a face in the ring, let alone those two. I think those are my 2 favorite memories if you put a gun to my head.
In terms of like the Rock talk and how it might go down in conspiracy theories, I don't even think he has to be there. I think if you just hit his music during the Kevin Owens Roman Reigns match, if you just hit his music.
I'm
Wait.
sorry. We've been doing nonsense ridiculousness with Reigns for 2 years. If it's just literally The Rock's music hitting, then I'm gonna know Vince is back in charge.
That's
I'm just
true.
saying,
That will be
they
the
can do
biggest
that.
known.
Which
They
gets
can
Roman
do that.
more.
If
Which
Triple
gets-
H is in charge, Kevin Owens' son is gonna come hit him off the top rope and make his WWE.
Triple H is
debut.
in charge. Kevin Owens might just win tonight. Like
Seriously, he
clean.
might fuck around and win both titles.
Yeah,
Which-
he might win clean with the stunner.
If just the song hits, which
And
Roman?
Stone Cold comes out and raises his hand in victory.
Hell
All right,
yeah.
speaking of raising your hand in victory, let's take a quick
Um,
look. Oh wait, what do we got?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know if we were still going with the.
Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead. I got ahead of it because Dwayne got me
Yeah.
back
Does that,
on the
well,
Rock
does anybody else
song.
want?
Might not
I'll-
even show up.
He might
Yeah, I'll
not.
just add
You don't
one.
know.
I'll just
I'll
add
hop
one
in.
thing. So
Okay, go ahead, Rob.
if the Rock's music just hits, which Roman scared face will be better? That one or when Cena's music hit at Money in the Bank?
Oh, Cena.
The Rock.
Cena's was great because it was just a look of disgust.
It was so he was just so mad. Oh my god.
It was also like perfect final boss. You didn't see it coming
Is that-
time with Cena, whereas everyone kind of sees this coming. So I get people will be excited. Michael Cole will probably make it a great moment. I'm not gonna lie, but
Wish we got McAfee back tonight.
He's coming. He's gonna be in the Rumble.
He's
Whoa,
gonna be
I
in the
think
Rumble.
we're going to get him in a different capacity.
Speaking of favorite memories and Cena,
Thank
like,
you.
on
Thank you.
topic. One of mine is right when I got into wrestling, kind of the 2008 Royal Rumble. Obviously,
Oh, yeah.
the Cena return at Madison Square Garden. That's a fan favorite for sure. I also love the 2011 first Edge return in the Rumble. I think when he came in at 27, that was fucking awesome.
Oh, 2010, yeah.
I've just been.
Yeah, those are two great ones. And who could forget when Vince came in at the Batista John Bacall and tore both his quads? I mean,
oh my god, bro, he hit his. I've been watching. So you guys know I've been watching the Rumbles. I watched him hit his quads. He hit his quads so hard on the ring, like he was running full speed, and they must have just exploded on impact.
Did he forget how to slide into a ring? Like,
I think he was just excited. I think he was just hyped up, just amped up, and just
Vince had that HGH pumping through his veins, and he was just like, oh.
Imagine trying to run down like Vince McMahon style, and then you literally can't use your legs, like right when you get in the ring.
Dude, it's so awkward. He's just sitting there, and they're just like, "What?"
He's sitting there, but the funny thing is, they're treating him with like still the utmost respect, and like like taking everything he says seriously.
But dude, you can tell in their head, they're like, "Why the fuck is this guy still sitting down? Like, what is he doing?"
I know. Yeah, they're like, "What's happening right now?" My favorite Rumble, easily my defining childhood. So 26-year-old, I couldn't watch a lot of Monday nights, had a bedtime back then, wasn't really encouraged. Friday nights though, Friday night was my show, and Eddie and Ray was like my defining rivalry, whatever, everything else. So Ray winning the Rumble and coming from number 2, that was the first Rumble pay-per-view I watched, I think, too. That's always the best one, but it was really funny watching Roman Reigns and The Rock get booed in 2014. I'm not going to lie.
That's crazy.
It was hilarious because I really did not want Roman. I was like, if I was in Philly that night, I would have been booing the shit out of Roman. That's where I was with Roman Reigns. And so it was just funny for the chaotic. And then it all worked out.
Sometimes it's very crazy to see
earlier in the night.
It's very crazy to see the WWE universe have the same reaction you do at home. So, like, you got one?
I was just gonna say, this is my yard now.
ridiculous. Okay, so, well, it's not quite your yard yet in the prediction pick percentages. Slick, we got Partham still leading the way. By the way, McAdoo and Partham weren't feeling well. They both wanted to make it. Hope they get feeling better. But we got Ernie and out of the live crew leading the way at 75%. Slick right behind him at 73.4. Micah 71. Me at 70.3. So let's get into it. And let's see. Let's kick off with a match that's a long time in the making. It feels like. I mean, geez, 2+ months for this build. But it's time for the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. Slick, kick us off. We'll go around the horn. What happens when Bray Wyatt and LA Knight finally face off? And where the hell is Uncle Howdy going to enter from?
I'm going to be honest. I have no idea what the hell is going to happen in this match. And I don't think any of us do. I think there's going to be some really messed up antics. This kind of reminds me, the way we're going into this, of the Firefly Funhouse match and the Swamp match that Bray had back in the day. Where there's going to be some theatrics that we're not going to see coming whatsoever. I think Uncle Howdy just comes, like, it goes completely pitch black, and then he's there all of a sudden. There's going to be more story to this than there is going to be wrestling. But ultimately, from a really messed up way that we kind of don't fully comprehend in the moment, I think Bray wins. But if you ask me to tell you how, I have no idea. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I think Bray wins.
Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck's going to happen in this match, but I'm picking LA Knight just because I think the story is going to be Bray fighting with himself more than anything else. And I think Bray and WWE very much knows all the talk about how no one comes out of a Bray feud better. So let's just let LA Knight come out with a win here. And you guys are probably all going to pick Bray, so.
Do we know what the rules are of this match?
No, we don't know anything.
No one knows.
Is it no disqualification?
The only thing that I've seen
no one knows.
The only thing that I've seen about it is that there are multiple neon elements included in it. That's the only thing I've seen.
And it's sponsored by Mountain Dew, don't
Yeah.
Yes.
But like that kind of matters, don't you think? Like when you're trying to predict who's gonna win, if it's a no DQ match, that matters. Like if this is a no DQ match, I'm picking LA Knight all the way just because I feel like, to Micah's point, he's just literally gonna blow a fuse and get himself disqualified. if it's a DQ match. But if it's a no DQ match, I'm going with Bray because, for those reasons exactly, because I think, he's going to tip, but he's still going to find a way with the professional he is. He's going to get LA Knight over as well. So I'm just going to pick Bray because I think this would be a no DQ situation. But if it were a DQ situation,
feels like a no disqualification drink when you're drinking it.
Yeah. So I'm going to go Bray just because of that. I feel like you're almost going to get like a Mankind multiple personality situation here. But if this was a DQ match, I would probably go LA Knight, but I'm going to say Bray.
Yeah, I'm going LA Knight here. I don't think Bray needs to win in his first match back. I think they're trying to get LA Knight over for a possible big match at Mania, with maybe, some glass breaking. But I don't know, maybe. But I think Uncle Howdy plays a big factor in this match with allowing LA Knight to win, and that starts a possible, well, the feud already started, but a more build up to a Mania match with Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy.
Wow.
I'm going
Ernie.
big takes today. First show back.
Oh no, Ernie, your mic is out.
Ernie, I can't hear you. I saw him talking.
Oh, dear.
Fuck.
Nope, not yet.
Nope.
Oh, dear God.
Ernie, pop out and come back in. I'll take the back. For Bray Wyatt, LA Knight, I mean, you guys are right. It's kind of weird. Don't know any of the rules. I do like how LA Knight is kind of just in his promos, basically just being like the WWE universe.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is going on? Yeah, it's gonna be LA Knight. Yeah, but I don't know what the hell is going on with this Bray Wyatt and this weird, Mad Hatter guy. Yeah, and everyone. By the way, his yas are awesome.
Oh,
everyone is big
Yeah.
behind the yes for the crowd. So
That was incredible. I love when he gets the double. Yeah, and then he's like,
Yeah.
shut up.
yeah, he's like, shut up.
Exactly.
It is
Totally
good that we
down. I
got,
got
but
that.
I am gonna go with Bray in the pitch black match. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I think maybe some hijinks at the end and Bray gets it
Do
done.
we get an identity of Uncle Howdy tonight, you think?
Hell no.
I
What
think
do you
Uncle
mean?
Howdy
No
is
way.
Bray. I still think it's Bray.
Yeah,
Like,
it's definitely a
in
Mr. Robot
storyline.
situation.
Yeah.
Spoiler. Okay, while we wait for our voice of reason to come back, let's
think
go
we're
on
past
to
that.
the second match of the night. We got in our docket here, the Raw Women's Championship. Bianca Belair. Let me just kick off the discussion in this here. Does anyone think Alexa Bliss wins this tonight?
Okay, so doesn't this match kind of have to, I was just thinking of it as we're talking right now. Doesn't this have to go before Bray because there's got to be some weird Bray stuff that happens in this? Like, that's been the whole story of this, too.
Yeah.
It could. There has been Alexa Bray stuff for sure.
Yeah. I think that costs Alexa the match.
Yeah, I think it's a DQ.
Yeah, I think this one's weird. I mean, I think Bianca ends up winning, but I've been reading, and I've been reading the last few days, and there is a good, storyline to go along with Alexa Bliss winning, but I don't think that's where they go. Bianca retains.
When in doubt, what I've learned making these picks over the last year and a half is when in doubt, you pick Roman Reigns or Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I think Bianca wins via DQ, but there's almost a humiliation aspect to her win to the DQ over Bianca, where it kind of continues that storyline even further. She humiliates Bianca in some way, shape, or form via what's happening with Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy, and it's kind of it almost forces you to continue the storyline between the two of them, where maybe Alexa eventually at Mania wins the belt.
How great was it when they redid the scary movie, whatever scary movie it is scene? Did you guys see that?
Good.
Oh, great.
Move for move. Did you see that, Maniac? I feel like that's right up your alley, buddy.
I did not. What happened?
Oh my gosh. You remember the scene in Scary Movie where the girl's fighting the grudge demon and she's
and it's they're actually having a match.
They remade that exact scene in the match with Alexa and Bianca a couple weeks ago.
It was fantastic.
Move for move. It was hilarious.
Awesome.
That is amazing. I gotta check that out. All right, kudos. Well, hey, do we got our guy back in?
Ernie.
Yo,
Yeah,
There he is. Okay.
there we go.
So Ernie, just getting up to speed. We all have Bianca, but just taking a step back real quick. You got LA Knight.
LA Knight, yes, and I also have Bianca.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything crazy with the LA Knight pick? Is it going to be Uncle Howdy interference? Anything you got for us there?
I think Uncle Howdy's going to interfere so that to set up the WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much everything.
Wow.
Pretty much everything Rob said was what I was going to say anyway. So.
Is
Wow,
that
Rob making a big
Rob, the
impact.
voice
Oh,
of
with the
reason.
dab on him back in his
Oh.
first appearance here. All right,
is that a
speaking
50-50 on that one?
Speaking
Yeah.
of dabbing on him, we are 50-50 on that one. We had 3 guys with Bray, 3 guys with LA Knight. So very interesting, very good to see. And that's Triple H's WWE, plain and simple. So we'll see if that keeps going. And speaking of which, we'll see if it keeps going with the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. This is a match. It's basically a rematch from 2 years ago at the Royal Rumble, right? When Kevin Owens basically gave Roman, I would say, one of his best matches overall of his tenure of his championship. The one, and truthfully, one where it had 1 or 2 moments where I really thought it might have been over for Roman, despite him only being a couple months into his reign at that point. But we got Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman versus Kevin Owens. Obviously, you have your, Chekhov, Sami Zayn, and all this. Ernie, why don't we let you kick it off here, and then we'll go back around the horn. What do you have happening? Reigns versus Owens.
I think this is going to be the match of the night, and that's all I have to say other than Roman Reigns is going to win. He's not going to WrestleMania without the belts.
Yeah, I think we all know who's going to win this. I don't think that's what we're watching this match for. I think we're watching it to see what goes on after this. We also have Tribal Court that Roman said tonight's going to be Sammy's big test. Is it going to is it going to be in this match? Is it going to be in the Rumble? I think it's going to happen after this match, where I think Roman's going to tell Sammy to attack Kevin Owens. And here's where The Rock comes in. I think Sammy's going to be hesitant, as he always is. And I think how he gets away with it, I think Rock's music hits. And we'll never know tonight if Sammy would have turned, but I think that's how The Rock gets played into this, where he helps Sammy not have to attack KO.
Same thing happened in The Boys when Homelander ordered Starlight to attack Huey. All right, Dwayne, what do you got?
Dude, this one's so tough. Not tough. I think Roman's going to win, but in the manner that he wins, it can go in so many different directions. I think we're going to get an even better match this time around, where we're going to have so many moments where, holy shit, Kevin Owens is going to do it. It's going to be like that. But, one of the things that popped into my mind, this whole test thing is, say Sammy is going to be involved in this match at some point. He will be in the ring, 100%. What if he just at the very end haluba kicks Roman for the DQ, and Kevin Owens wins via DQ, but Roman retains? So it's
actually, I think that's a move they pulled when Jericho and Kevin Owens were aligned, if I recall. Jericho came out during one of those matches
happening. You go through all the levels of the match, the motion, and the test comes out, and by that way, you're still continuing this ongoing storyline with Sammy and the Bloodline. Does Sammy want to be the head of the table? Can he be trusted? But he just won you the match. You may have won the match, but you kept your belts. But now it just continues that level of the storyline. Is can he be trusted? He just haluba kicked, the tribal chief. Where would he go from here? But you kept the belts.
Yeah.
So I take Roman, but I just cannot tell you the manner of how it happens. It could go in so many different directions.
I will say that I'm just thankful that in Triple H's WWE, this is a main event. This is not a dream. I wouldn't say dream match. That term gets used too much anyways. But we've had so many main event opportunities where Kevin Owens should have been in that slot, and having him in this kind of one of the biggest pay-per-views of obviously one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year, leading to their biggest WrestleMania ever. He's the man to be in that spot against Roman. I made a joke earlier, half joke, about Triple H, maybe just puts it on Kevin Owens and does it. But there is a path I thought of where if Owens somehow Zayn turns on that. Listen to this. I'm not picking this. I'm picking.
I know where you're going now.
Zayn turns on the Bloodline because that's what Owens told him to do a couple weeks ago. He said, if I were you, I would turn on them first. I've thought about those words from Owens to Zayn every time I see any Bloodline thing. So Zayn helps Owens wins the title tonight. Zayn goes and wins the Rumble later. And Zayn in the middle of the Rumble, Rob, I have the same idea as you, that he's going to get attacked in the Rumble at some point. He's going to be alone. He's going to eliminate some people. Bloodline comes in from out of nowhere, is about to take him out. Rock's music hit. He comes, saves Sammy. Sammy wins the Rumble. Roman makes him put up his Rumble opportunity up at Elimination Chamber. So that's the Sammy Roman match. Huge match at the Chamber. Sammy wins. Owens, Sammy is one night. Reigns Rock the other night of Mania. That's if Owens wins. What's going to happen is Roman's going to win. And I still think that Rob's idea is exactly what happens either in the Rumble or in that match right after that like that. I do think that the Sammy beatdown happens or is about to happen, and that's when the Rock's music hits. Because like we were joking about yesterday, Rob, Sammy is the people's champ, but I really do think that can be the crux of this whole storyline. And Rock comes out and he's like, listen, Roman, you're the head of the table by gaslighting and being an asshole. I was the people's champ, and Sammy's the people's champ, so I think he's the head of the table. And that's basically where you go with that.
I love that. Rob kind of took the words out of my mouth. You're kind of on a heater, Rob. One day.
This is why we pay him the big bucks to come in for the big show.
I'm gonna Cowboy Rob.
I'm gonna take it a little bit of a different angle just to switch it up. I think Roman wins, and he ploys Sammy to attack KO, and Sammy doesn't. He shows his allegiance to the bloodline. They all kick the shit out of Owens after. Everyone's expecting something. They don't get it. It's big boos from the crowd. Everyone acknowledges them. They put the ones up. But then we go into the Rumble, and it comes late into the Rumble match. And Sammy's starting to look like he has a good chance of pulling this off. And the bloodline come down and are like, no. Like, if you really want to prove your alliance with us, you eliminate yourself, or like, don't win this because we don't want you facing the tribal chief on the biggest stage of them all. Like, that's not what we would do as allegiance of the bloodline. And Sammy's conflicted. He doesn't want to do it. So they get in the ring. They're about to eliminate him themselves. And that's where The Rock comes in, kind of mucks everything up, allows Sammy to still stay in the match. I don't think he wins it down the line. I think all of this distraction stuff going on allows someone to eliminate him on their own. But I think The Rock interferes in the Rumble because the Bloodline are trying to purposely not allow Sammy to further advance in the Rumble.
This reminds me of when Star Wars Episode 3 was coming out, because like the major storyline points they got to get to. Like, eventually Roman Reigns and Rock are going to fight at WrestleMania. Like, that's obviously a massive thing. How are they going to get there? Who's going to like play a role like in the other? I mean, this is exactly the story. So I agree with what everyone said. Reigns ultimately is going to retain the titles. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't think The Rock comes out in this match. That will just be my other thing, because I know there's been some ifs, some ifs, but yeah, that would be my other take for this one. But yeah, Reigns retains, and I do think, like Ernie said right up, I think this will be the match of the night. I think that maybe there'll be some callbacks to their other match. Gosh.
This match is going to be incredible. Like,
Owens has always been putting on bangers at the Rumble in a separate match. Remember when him and Ambrose had that
banger after
banger.
Owens never disappoints in these situations, and honestly, Roman really never disappoints when he has a great dance partner, and Owens is one of the best of the best. So,
yep.
Seriously, and Owens is great in-ring trash talker, which Reigns has obviously gotten much better at over the last couple of years. So
dude, can you just when the bell hits, the atmosphere for this match is going to be like insane. When the bell hits and we get the stare down of these two in the Alamo Dome, like, oh.
As you guys were talking about like your predictions, I was literally getting chills. I'm not even kidding you. Like, just the excitement around this match and where the different directions it can go in, like, it's literally open-ended. Like, I doubt, honestly, none of us are probably right. Let's be real. None of us are probably right. It's going to go in a different direction. But that's how awesome this is, and that's what they've been able to build. Could you imagine the conversations that are happening in San Antonio and in Laredo last night of what to do? Because Sammy, even in that interview, like I said, Sammy seems like a genuine guy. The last thing he says in that interview is like, maybe he'll be the Royal Rumble. He's like, I genuinely do not know. Literally,
so that's where we're at with the wrestlers, I'm sure.
It's unbelievable. Truly. Okay. Well, we got our picks for the main 3 matches. It is time for the Virtuoso main events, starting with the Women's Royal Rumble match. So we have 12 entrants already declared. Liv Morgan, Candice LeRae, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, Zelina, Emma Bailey, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Lacey Evans, Zia Lee. You got to think Becky Lynch. Right, like so. What are some names we see here? Is Trish Stratus, Beth Phoenix? Like,
I think Dana Brooke is a solid lock.
Dana B.
There. She's not on that list.
I think
Nia Jax is supposed to be returning. Supposedly.
Nia Jax, I've seen her trending.
As
there,
everyone we've injured in the women's division. Oh, sorry.
I mean, I know she was combined with Mercedes, but has there been any rumors about Naomi?
I think Naomi's a safe bet for this Rumble. I think I'm picking
gonna feel
Sasha
the
Banks
glow.
to show up. You guys don't have to agree with that. I
don't
she's showing up
disagree with
today.
you, Jake.
he's not
I
there.
still think she's showing up today.
If Sasha Banks is showing up, she's fucking winning the Royal Rumble.
Oh, yeah, she is
Mercedes
100%.
Grenada.
If
Wait,
she's
is she
winning,
coming
it's
back
Sasha
as Sasha
Banks.
Banks.
No, she'd have to be Mercedes Moné.
Moné.
I
She
would
comes, she comes in as both.
Mercedes Moné.
Mercedes.
She pulls a Mick Foley. She's like, you know, what are you doing?
I like that Mercedes is more the mankind and Sasha Banks is more the Cactus Jack for sure.
I think we see possibly Naomi, Chelsea
I think
Green.
Naomi.
I think.
Chelsea Green's a good one.
Who was I?
What about Trish Stratus? Are we gonna see
I
some
do.
Stratus
I think
in
Trish.
action?
I think Trish would be safe bet. Maybe Beth Phoenix to get a stare down with Rhea Ripley at some point.
I want to see
I think,
Michelle.
I think Beth and Rhea are gonna see each other at the Rumble tonight.
Okay,
What about
definitely.
I
think Mick-
what about Hardcore Country?
No,
That's what I was just gonna say. I was just
Are
gonna
they
say.
allowing TNA superstars?
I mean,
back?
they let her
They've-
use her music when
No,
she
but
came
they-
last time.
And she
They've
came
said
out with her belt.
Yeah, so
there's
she's
a lot
gotta
of
be
rumors.
a lock, right?
There's a lot of rumors that they've offered a lot of one-time appearance fees for a lot of wrestlers, and that would be like Impact, New Japan people that could take those and come. I think Mickey is a lock for this. Honestly,
Mickey is.
I think that's
gotta
why.
be a lock.
I think that's why they gave her the title so she can come out again with the title.
That is it wasn't it that exact timing last
It was
year as well?
yeah, it was the same thing.
Yeah, the
Oh,
more
don't
things
Ronda's
stays, the
there,
more
right?
it's the same.
And she showed
I
up.
know who else I was going to say. I think Eva Marie.
Eva
Yes.
Marie. Oh
They
my
have
god.
been teasing
Um,
her
Crowd
too.
goes mild.
I do
Oh,
think-
what about
I
Lana? Lana was on a flight yesterday.
Oh,
Ooh.
Rusev is Rusev gonna be in the
Is
Rumble?
Rusev back in WWE?
Just bring back Rusev Day.
My,
I do think a more boring one. I do think Gigi Dolan and what's her name? I can't think of the other girl's name. JC Jane.
Toxic Attraction.
Both a Toxic Attraction. I think will be in the Rumble.
My dream entrant in the Women's Royal Rumble is Joe Gacy from NXT. The woke
Ooh.
guy. So he's always talking about how things are unfair and how woke he is. So for him to enter the Women's Royal Rumble to make things, quote unquote, fair in his eyes would be freaking
That would
hilarious.
be hilarious.
But my real NXT pick is I think Cora Jade's going to be in the Rumble.
That would be
tonight.
second.
Cora's a great choice.
I think she's the future of the women's division.
I also agree with that.
I hate to say it, but now that you bring it up, could this be a Santina Morella situation?
Yeah,
Yes.
it could be. I mean, they have 18 spots to fill, and you can only bring back Molly Holly so many times.
Right now,
Oh
right
my
now
God.
with our current names, I mean, we're only at 27 if everybody we've discussed is in it.
Yeah, Jesus. So we need some more we need some more
Yeah.
options.
What
The
about
Bellas,
what's-her-face?
Bellas, either
Well,
Bella.
Bellas have to be in it, right?
Make
They
it
weren't at Raw
26.
30.
They were
weren't at
bitching
Raw
about
30
it,
and they were pissed.
complaining
They
about
said
it.
that,
Yeah.
they were pissed.
Yeah, the Bellas.
What
Yeah,
about
they were.
The
What
Bellas
about,
were pissed they weren't mentioned at Raw 30. They were like on social going nuts.
why can't I remember what her name is? She used to do like the strip tease thing.
Kelly.
Kelly.
Kelly,
From
Kelly.
Buffalo, New York.
I mean, that's a possibility for sure. We haven't seen her in a while, right?
No.
She was in it last year, wasn't she?
She was in one of the past
Was she?
years.
I can't remember.
Wait,
Yeah.
am I
problem is
crazy? Is Asuka a possibility?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is she not
Oh,
listed?
Asuka,
She's
yeah.
not
She's
listed.
not
She's
listed.
in there.
She's not
Prince
listed.
Asuka's in the Rumble for
Asuka-
sure.
Asuka's in the okay.
There's no way
Nobody's
Ronda's
ready.
in it, right?
Nobody's ready. for
Ronda's not.
No way.
Supposedly.
Oh
That's
yeah,
the rumor.
Ronda's not
She
listed.
lost the belt. to
By the
Big
way,
Three.
most
No,
of
no,
the
no.
sites I was-
Ronda's not going to be in it allegedly. That's
Is
the
Shayna
whole-
most of the sites I was
Baszler
seeing
listed?
though have Ronda as like a long shot. So
Is Shayna Baszler listed?
Shayna
No.
Baszler's listed.
Okay.
Oh, she is. Okay.
So right now we're at 29 with our add-ons. I mean, but yeah, that means we're in for a lot of surprises in this women's Royal Rumble match. But with that said, the consensus seems to be that this is a 2-horse race. We got Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley for the most part. It could be mommy season. With that said, Slick, get us started off on Slick Saturday. What do you got going on in this Women's Royal Rumble? Oh, by the way, we have to debut this. Okay, so I got to go this. I got this as smoothly as possible. Obviously, we're picking out of 30 contestants, 30 competitors, trying to make it a little bit more balanced with the scoring system so we don't go 0-1 when we don't miss 1 in 30. So every panel member here on Wrestling Emotion is going to guess 3 competitors for each of these Rumbles, and they're going to be 3 overall topics that we're looking to guess correctly. Longest ring time in the Rumble, most eliminations in the Rumble, and the ultimate Rumble winner. So we'll all be guessing 3 names, 3 women, 3 men for the respective Rumbles. If they qualify, great. Then you get 1-0. If you go 0 for 3, then you go 0 for 3. That's just the way the records will work out in the overall. Slick, kick us off. What do you got in the Women's Royal Rumble match? We're looking for, again, longest ring time, most elims, and winner.
Okay, so longest ring time, it's the best route for me.
By the way, to clarify, sorry, you don't have to guess specifically which one. You can explain your thinking, but if you guess longest ring time and they end up being like the winner, that also qualifies as a 1-0 for that category.
Oh, okay. I don't really fully understand, but I'm gonna
pick 3 that will.
Just pick three candidates.
Yeah, and I'm gonna explain each one why.
Of course. That's why I'm saying it, even though you're explaining it. That's just why I wanted to qualify.
Longest ring time, I feel like the best route for me at least to go is a fan favorite that won't end up winning and comes into the match early, obviously. So with that, I'm going to go early entrant Liv Morgan. I feel like she stays in a while, maybe comes down to the final 4. Ultimately gets eliminated, but Liv Morgan, I think, is longest ring time for me. And then this might bite me in the ass, but I'm going for the next 2, the same person. Because in my eyes, there's only one real choice for the Royal Rumble winner, and it's Rhea Ripley. I think you get maybe the Bianca-Rhea match at Mania. That's money. And Rhea's very over right now. They're doing great stuff with the Judgment Day. And who better to get more eliminations than a powerhouse like Rhea Ripley? I think she puts on a Brock-esque performance and actually wins the thing. So Rhea Ripley, most elims, winner, going to Mania, and then Liv Morgan will be in the ring the longest time out of all.
Okay, so you're entering that as you guess, but you get a 3rd guess to free roll on then. So who would you like to add in?
Becky Lynch.
Okay, Becky Lynch.
All right.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
Like
Micah, who you got?
All right. This is purely me just wanting this to happen, so I'm taking a swing here. My safe pick is Rhea Ripley for basically the same reason Slick just said. I think she's the safe winner and probably will have the most elims if she does win. My pick, though, other 2 are the 2 champions, Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair, because I truly believe one of them is winning this Rumble. I think they're both going to come out late. One of them's going to eliminate the other and then challenge that person to a match at WrestleMania, title for title, because they had that electric segment the other day. I feel like I've talked to you guys about that for like a couple months, last couple shows, that I just been waiting for Flair and Belair. It's like I can see it on a WrestleMania Hollywood poster, just right next to Roman. Like you can just see, like you can. I think it's the biggest money match they have. I think now is the time to do it. I think that's the only reason they put the title on Flair to begin with. So I'm picking those 2. They probably won't last. None of those people will probably last that long. I'm just going to give that one up. I'll let Slick take that if he wants with Liv Morgan. But I'm taking the swing here with the 2 champs.
Man, Micah, you really got my head spinning right now. No, because it's not unheard of to have champions in the Rumble. So my original theory was, I kept it pretty simple. Liv being longest lasting because they've been promoting her to be the number 1 entrant, trying to be the inspirational, like I can do it type thing. And I think she'll be the longest lasting entrant. My most eliminations only because they've been doing vignettes and now this promo, and then last night at SmackDown, I think Lacey Evans has the most eliminations just because they're trying to build her to be that. she'll have a good Rumble in terms of eliminating people. And then my winner would be Rhea Ripley because I just think it's obvious. But now I'm going to stick to that. But Mike, you have me kind of leaning in the direction you did there for a minute, because I can definitely see, to all your points, Charlotte and Bianca being on a, the glam, how they both, the way they present themselves in the ring, not just from a wrestling standpoint, but I could definitely see that being on a poster too. But I'm going to stick with mine. I think those three are safe for me, at least. So I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw Micah, but I was agreeing with you the whole time. I've been thinking that earlier in the show, I was saying how that women's championship could determine something, how we could see possible Bianca losing it, entering the Rumble for that match against Charlotte at Mania. But I stuck with Bianca there. But I didn't think about that, how she could win it as the champion or Charlotte as champion. But, I mean, the winner, as everyone's saying, there's only that many choices. I'm going to stick with everyone else. I'm going with Rhea as the winner. The most eliminations, I'm gonna go with a wild card, Raquel Rodriguez.
No, that I was just thinking about changing one of my picks to her, actually.
And then the most time, I think I'm gonna stick with Slick there, and I'm gonna go with Liv Morgan. I think she's one of those up there where, I mean, she's not gonna win it, but she's been talking about, and they need someone that's gonna go over and be great in the whole thing. And I think Liv can handle that, being in there for 40 plus minutes.
The only person I disagree about is Lacey Evans, because she'll be too busy making fun of special needs kids in the crowd to accomplish anything in the ring. I think the person who's going to have the longest time today is Bayley. I think she's going to have the aid of Iro and Dakota Kai, and they'll help her. And she's also, I mean, if she's not the best women's wrestler in WWE, she's up there, so I think she's going to get that shine. Rhea is going to win the Rumble. And I think just for the third person, just for fun, I'm going to go with Becky, just because she might get one of the three. So, but I think I agree with everybody that Rhea's going to have the most eliminations and be the winner. But I just think Bayley's going to have the longest time in the Rumble.
Ernie, I like that because as I've been watching back the Rumbles the other day, that was the one where Orton won, and he had Legacy in there with him with Triple H, and now I'm just visioning that. Yeah, I'm now just envisioning Bayley in there with Damage Control like the whole time, just bossing people around, and then like there's 5 people left, and there are 3 of them. You can see that.
Yeah, and what would be more annoying than having her in the match the entire time?
Yelling at Cole from the ring.
her running around the match the whole time would actually be astounding. It kind of makes me want to root for it. I am going to go with Rhea to win it. I like Raquel to have the longest time. I do think she gets the big spot here. Maybe like 40, 50 minutes early entry come in. And then I'll take Becky for most eliminations. A strong Rumble there. Okay, gents. And here we go. We got the men's Royal Rumble. With all due respect, looked at as the very first step, the first brick on the road to WrestleMania. Someone will be pointing at that WrestleMania sign tonight on the Peacock Network, roughly 11 plus hours from now. So with that said, men's Royal Rumble, we have for this one already 19 confirmed. Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Santos Escobar, Ricochet, Austin Theory, Seth Rollins, Lashley, Corbin, Rey Mysterio, Dom Mysterio, Gunther, Cody Rhodes, Omos, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, Karrion Kross, Miz, and last night, Brock Lesnar. So we still have 11 spots left, and it could get crazy, like you guys have mentioned. McAfee as a name. The Rock. What do you got, Micah?
I got 3. Cena, Logan Paul, Bad Bunny.
Australia.
Bad Bunny, and you know who I think
Cena's in Australia?
Yeah.
Cena could, but
he could fly that. That's a quick flight.
Her.
That's easy.
Edge,
San Antonio. Edge definitely. Yes.
For sure.
I mean, Sammy, obviously. Sammy's not listed yet.
Sammy's
going to be in it.
Is Dominic in there?
Yeah, he's in there.
Dominic's listed. Listed.
Are all of Judgment Day in there? Is Priest in there too?
No, none of them. Only he's listed. All of Judgment Day, yeah.
Okay, so let's see Priest and Finn, I would say.
Priest and Finn, I think, are locked.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a way out of left field prediction here because they let Nakamura wrestle him about a month ago. The Great Muta.
Muta, yes, I think so too. Do you think it'll be Great Muta or Kaiji Muto?
Muda.
Okay.
Are we going
I
to
think
see
more-
a good old famous? Are we going to see good old famous Hurricane Helms?
No,
Give me Finley.
This one's too packed. I'm looking at it right now with our names. We have one spot left.
Hey,
Now Cena's probably not there. And let's
breaks.
see.
I got one. They just Dragon Lee. Didn't they just sign him?
True. Dragon Lee. Oh no, Jay White. Jay White is my pick, but they said that he
Oh.
I
like
might
the
still
Jay
be under
White pick.
contract. But I
Okay,
still
so
think,
we're
I think
out of
they're
room
lying.
already. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm gonna be tough. I'm saying Cena's out, Logan Paul is out, and Bad Bunny's out. I think McAfee will be there. I think The Rock will be there. I think Edge will be there. I think Zayn will be
I
there.
don't think Rock's gonna be in the Rumble. That's where I disagree.
Okay.
Yeah, I disagree with that one.
Let's
I
just make it a
think, I think
four-way.
Logan. I'm fine with Bad Bunny. I do think Logan. Unless
Okay,
Logan
this
Paul's still
panel
too
right
hurt,
now,
but-
who has a better chance of being in the Rumble, Logan Paul or The Rock?
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
Okay,
He's
I
under
like. Okay,
contract.
I'm surprised by that, but I'll take it. I'll put it in. CoffeeZilla is going to be coming for that ass if Logan Paul's in the Rumble.
I genuinely like. It was more of a conspiracy for not conspiracy, but just for fun guess. But after the comments made last night about Brock Lesnar, winning his third Rumble, tying Austin, I genuinely think that Austin will be in the Royal Rumble tonight. I do. I just do. I think that glass shatters with where the Rumble is, dude. That fucking place will lose its goddamn mind. And, I genuinely think Austin will be one of the surprise entrants in the Rumble tonight. He's been getting in shape. Like, he has had a match in the last, calendar year. And
Everyone has been commenting on him getting in shape.
Yeah. So,
Like I said, I think
can
he's gonna-
definitely see him being, like, anywhere in between the, 25 to 30 entrant, or, somewhere a little bit before that. And, getting a couple eliminations and then himself getting eliminated. And maybe who eliminates him, whoever that might be, could be a draw for a WrestleMania match with Austin and said person.
Austin
I would love to
Theory
see
in the Rumble?
McIntyre and Lesnar face off again in the Rumble after him
Yep.
eliminating him 2 years ago, 3 years
Yeah,
ago
nice
now.
little callback. That'd be awesome.
Is Austin Theory in the Rumble?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my Austin lookout pick. I think if Stone Cold shows up, I think it's Austin. Versus Austin.
It's in Houston, or in San Antonio.
Could you imagine if the glass breaks and it's just Austin on the screen or something, and there's like 10 seconds where they're like it can't be, and it's fucking. I mean, I hate to say it, but that would probably be like fucking hysterical.
Do you think that's why Vince? Do you think that's why Vince just didn't let him be Austin Theory? He's like, we can't. have you
Now
be
I'm
Austin,
thinking that's
bro.
the only reason Vince came back, because he just had this one idea. He had this one idea to fuck with the entire state of Texas, and he's coming back. He doesn't seem to want to be all the way back in creative or anything. He just says, I got to tell you this one idea I had, pal. We got to get to Austin.
It'll be great.
I think the rattlesnake will be there tonight. I do.
Oh, let's get it.
That would be
All right.
unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, this is a pack. I mean, again, with respect to the women's, because there's just so much wide open in the women's. You're wondering how they're going to fill the pieces. I mean, you're looking at this, group. I mean, you could have 10 to 12 legit winners in here that you could legitimize. I know that they're not all The Rock. I know they don't have the momentum of Sami Zayn, but your McIntyres, your Lesnars, your Rollins. These are Cody Rhodes. Who we haven't even gotten to is the odds-on favorite. I mean, this is crazy. So with that said, does anyone want to tee up? Does anyone have a strong men's Rumble prediction? Maybe Rob, who's feeling the heat earlier.
I'll start. I mean, I think what makes this Rumble hard is that they unified the championships. So now there's only one champion, and that's what makes it hard. There's multiple ways this can go. Like we said, the Cody Rhodes odds-on favorite. He was building up to that championship run before he got hurt last year. Then there's Sammy, and obviously there's The Rock. What goes on from whoever wins tonight? How do we get back to 2 championship matches at Mania? Because that's what's going to happen. Going to have to happen because we have 4 guys for 1 championship technically right now. But for the winner, no, I'll start with the longest time. I think the longest time is going to be Seth freaking Rollins. I think most eliminations is obviously the likely one. I mean, he's coming in. He wouldn't have gone in the Rumble just going to the Rumble to be only in for 20 minutes. So I think most eliminations obviously got to be Cowboy Brock. And for the winner, it's so hard. I think I think there's going to be a lot of weird things happening over the next 2 months. So I think Cody Rhodes will be winning it just because I don't know where they go from with him with his build up if they don't have him winning it here. So I'm going with Cody.
I'll go quickly then. Really quick, I think Austin Theory is going to be the longest. I really think that Seth Rollins is, but I want to pick something different than Rob because I don't want to pick the same thing. It's either going to be Rollins or Austin Theory. I'll pick Austin Theory. Most eliminations, Brock. In my opinion, it's a no-brainer. And then for the winner, my heart says Sammy, but my head says Cody. So I'm going to pick Cody Rhodes.
Dwayne, what do you got for us?
I'm going to go for lasting the longest. I'm going to say Sammy. I think Sammy is going to last the longest. Most eliminations, I'm going to go Brock because it's like Ernie said, I think that's a no-brainer. And I think that it's going to be Cody winning this whole thing. But I think it's going to come down to, the final two. I think it's going to be Sammy and Cody. And that's just going to be, again, if it's them two in the final two, it can go either way for most people because the build for both of these guys has been just so intense and so captivating that, how can you – it wouldn't be a bad pick to pick either two, in my opinion. So I think it's going to be – I think the eventual winner is going to be Cody because it's just destiny.
Yeah, so I think I told you about my Sammy thoughts earlier. I think he's going to be in the Rumble at some point, comes in early-ish. I don't think he's going to be 1 or 2. Gets beat down by the Bloodline at some point. Rock comes out, saves him. I don't think he's in the Rumble. So most of the limbs, I'll start there. I'm going with Bobby Lashley instead of Brock. I think that he gets the limbs and then Brock takes him out later. I think that 1 and 2 is going to be Seth and Cody. I think that's how they started out, so that either of them could be longest time, probably depending on who comes out first and how they do the ending. I think they're both 1 and 2, and they're both there at the end. As I've been watching the Rumbles, I think they did that with a couple years ago that I was watching, 2008 or whatever it was. Ernie, correct me where I'm at here with Michaels and Undertaker when they started off that one in 08, right?
They ended 07 and started 08.
Yeah, and then 08, they basically have a singles match for 10 minutes where they fight each other for 5 minutes. They don't start the clock, and then they just start eliminating people. So I think that's where we're going. But it's time, baby. It's time, baby. The American roller coaster is going to be WWE champ in 2 months. I can't wait.
American Nightmare, baby. Hold on. Gotta get my shirt now.
Uh-oh, everyone's doing a wardrobe change. Slick, what do you got?
I am going to go agree with Ernie longest time. I think it's going to be Austin Theory. I saw Cody Rhodes tweet the number 3 right after he announced his. I think that would be way too obvious for him to come in at 3. So with that being said, I don't think he's going to be at 3, so he's not going to be I could be very wrong, and I could regret it, but I think Austin Theory is going to be the longest. Since everyone's taking Brock, also, I'm going to go with Jake for most eliminations. I think Bobby Lashley. I think they both have a great showing in terms of eliminations, but I think Bobby gets the one-up. And the only winner in my eyes is Cody Rhodes and future Universal WWE champion at Mania. And I'm going to go out on a limb and predict the exact final 4. I think it's going to be Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, and Austin Theory.
I love it.
But, yeah, you got my picks, though, right?
Yeah, I'm shocked. I'm shocked right now that nobody has The Rock in this Royal Rumble.
I don't think he's going to be in the Rumble. I don't think they want to set up that situation.
My whole brain scope is completely switched. That everyone thinks that The Rock is going to be in basically a throwaway in the championship match versus the Royal Rumble, which is going to be the main event.
He's not a throwaway. He's the biggest guest star of the biggest wrestling storyline we've had.
Sounds like you're throwing him away. It sounds like you're throwing him away. Sounds like something that if I heard that idea and I was The Rock, I would be like, I'm not really in that great shape right now.
I will readily admit that I'm throwing him away.
Okay, exactly. Thank you, Ernie,
you're-
for at least just
I don't
admitting
want
what
The Rock
everybody is
to-
doing. They're all throwing The Rock away.
guys. The Rock wrestled
This
John
is the man
Cena.
who saved G.I. Joe and the Cobra.
The Rock wrestled John Cena, and he was winded in like 2 minutes, and that was 10 years ago. I don't want to watch him wrestle
The
again
Rock is
against
50
Roman
years
Reigns. I'm
old.
sorry.
There are so many young guys in WWE that could really make the big step in the next year, and I feel like him being there would just get in the way. Like, there's so many young guys that they could really start pushing right now to the main event championship level, and having The Rock there even for a couple months will stunt that. So if he doesn't show up, I'm perfectly okay with it.
My official prediction is still 2 nights of Mania where it's Rock Roman and Rock Cody, and that's what we're gonna get. I think they're for each for
Roman
one
Cody?
title. My bad. Roman, Cody,
I was gonna
Roman,
say
Rock.
the guy who's out of
Rock-
shape. You got him
Rock can't
wrestling on
wrestle
both
one-
nights.
No. Roman, Cody, Roman, Rock. Roman, Cody,
Unbelievable.
Roman.
All right. So I do agree with you guys. I think the panel has it right. If you're going for most elims, Lesnar has to be at this point like minus 200, minus 300 for there. So that's the safe bet. I like Rollins in the beginning of the match to last the most time. The cackling laugh. He could take somebody outside the ring and be beating them like out, doing all kinds of stuff. Him and Cody could have a battle all over the arena while the Rumble is going on. Like they could roll out of the ring and do that. And that would be fantastic. You could do something like that. This is where I'll get the, my chance to get one up. I do like Slick's Final Four, even though I don't like Austin Theory in the end there. I like Lesnar instead. I got Sami Zayn pulling it out. I think that the combo of Vince, Triple H, and everything, I think that Vince is going to be like, you know what, go with the hot hand, kid. Like something like that, yada, yada. This storyline has been built a long time. And I think that Zayn is going to be in there early in the match, and it's going to be as part of the tribal chief being like, go, you manage the locker room, now go manage like the Royal Rumble, like something like that. And he ends up actually winning it. You develop kind of almost like a Wyatt Orton situation, but this time with a face that everyone wants to see win it. And truthfully, you can put the Cody storyline to next year. I hate to say that there's always next year from Buffalo sources, but you're telling me that with a full year of more matches and more memories under his belt, it might not hit a little bit more if he does it at next year's Royal Rumble with a chance to go against maybe somebody else. But
Sammy put it perfectly in his aerial interview yesterday, but he's like, if you look at the story organically, the way it goes, like it makes the most sense. Doesn't mean that's the way we'll go, but it makes the most sense. And honestly, like I could see the test being Sammy go #1 and win the Rumble, so I don't have to fight anybody at WrestleMania or something like that. And it's like, and that's the whole story of the Rumble. Like that's a realm of possibility. The reason I'm believing it's Cody at this point is because of the merch sales thing and everything else. Like that's like a different universe when those things are happening. It's like that's where the politics come in. It's like, okay, this guy has all the momentum, but he's selling out everything. And there's like the pictures of, I think it was one of the guys from WrestlePurists put up pictures of the doors going into the Superstore, and it's literally just Roman and Cody on the doors. It's like WWE's like they tell you things that they don't want to tell you, but it's like Sammy makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. You can't go wrong,
I don't
really.
think they knew even like maybe I dare I say 2 months ago at Survivor Series, but definitely not 3 to 5 months ago how hot the Sammy angle was going to be right now.
No,
after
War Games, I think after War Games, they're like, this is a great problem to have, but we got to figure it out.
It's only been picking up steam. I think that they've looked for angles to kind of get Sammy out of the bloodline, and every time they do, they realize the better storytelling is for, like Jey Uso being the one to stop Solo Sikoa from hitting him with the spike is like that's Marvel, phase 3 level storytelling for sure.
Two things. I think that one thing I think will be obvious that'll happen, maybe it's obvious to me, is that Brock will get eliminated before Bobby, but Brock will be the reason Bobby gets eliminated, costing him the Royal Rumble, because it's just another build to that storyline, right? I think that Brock will be one of the first. He will get eliminated first at some point, but then he's going to be the one that causes Bobby's elimination. Just kind of adding fuel to that fire for, that inevitable next match. One thing that you guys talked about with Sammy, go in there, win the whole thing, Sammy, and then, then Roman as a wrestler. It brings me back to those Evolution feels. Remember when Batista had to make a choice between, choosing champions, who is he going to face? And then he did the whole thumbs down. I think this could be a very similar situation to that if, to Micah's point and to your point, Maniac, where if Sammy were to win, it's like almost the exact same situation.
Seriously, there is so many ways they can go with it. Again, I feel like we all know kind of what is going to happen over the next 2 to 3 months, but how we're going to get there and how it is going to happen tonight on the biggest of nights is truly what it's all about. Shout out for everybody tuning in. Make sure you're following Trainwreck Sports on all platforms, SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, Apple. So you are tuned
I just
in.
want to say
What do you got?
this is how I'm just saying this is how happy I am this is happening. I wanted to go back and find this is April 10th, 2017, picking up, you guys know, Mo from Germany. And look at that shirt I'm wearing 6 years ago, almost 6 years ago. Fight forever. And here we've come. Tonight's the night, baby. Started out.
Yeah, dude.
I'm so excited. I cannot wait for tonight's Rumble. Like, this is I think this is the most Rumble I've excited for in my whole life. Like, just
for all the haters in the chat who think I'm just a WWE guy, I've had all of these shirts since before AEW was even a fucking thought, boys. So you go kiss my ass. Super Kick Club, American Nightmare, when they had the Jericho Buck shirt before. Yeah, I've had it all, dude. So the haters, i.e. Slick, eat my ass.
Must be the balls, buddy.
Seriously. No sad.
What's
Make sure you're
happening?
tuning in. Shout out
What'd
to
you
our
say?
panel, Ernie Green, Rob Ryan, Jacob Megan, Dwayne, Micah. It's like, shout out for everyone keeping it tuned in here at Wrestling with Emotion on all the platforms. Because remember, it is the show where it's not wrestling with your budget. It's not wrestling with your conscience. It is wrestling with emotion. Let's have a great Royal Rumble and let's have a good night.